Soaring from continent to continent, the Boeing 787 Dreamliner is a crown jewel of Air Canada's fleet. But in 2015, one of its planes sprung a fuel leak. Work that was supposed to have been done at the Boeing plant wasn't. Michael Larris says it's part of a long and troubling pattern.
People involved in making the Boeing airplanes would falsify their responses on documents saying what they've done.
Today, he reported on a 2015 deal struck between Boeing and the Federal Aviation Authority to settle a number of investigations. In return, it agreed to improve systemic safety issues. Workers were improperly installing wires in 787s. They failed to insert lock wires to help keep bolts in place, and special decompression panels were improperly installed.
And that's important because they're there to make sure that if there's a terrible emergency, that the floor doesn't get sucked out.
As for those falsified documents that led to Air Canada's fuel leak, Boeing says after Air Canada reported it, Boeing self-disclosed to the Federal Aviation Authority and conducted an audit, concluding it was an isolated event. It says it took immediate corrective action.
The internal parts of a turbine engine, the temperatures can be upwards around 700 degrees. So needless to say, it doesn't take very much for that liquid, be it flammable such as fuel, to be ignited.
This aviation safety expert says the disconcerting revelations must be addressed.
What is happening within the culture within the organization? Is there indeed measurable changes taking place, and are they consistent? Are they ongoing? And then secondly, somebody needs to go back and take a hard look at all the various airplanes,
including planes that fly in Canada. Transport Canada says it's still evaluating how this information will affect how it approves aircraft in the country. Larris has his own evaluation.
It raises questions about the patterns of all those cases. I mean, essentially, how could they keep happening?
A case in point, perhaps, the discredited software that's blamed for those 2 fatal crashes.
So Katie joins us now. So Katie, we have an Air Canada jet that was part of Boeing's poor safety record. So what are they saying today?
Well, after reporting that fuel leak to Boeing back in 2015, Air Canada says it immediately inspected the rest of its 787 fleet and found that was the only 787 with that particular problem. And it says it regularly inspects its fleet and fully complies with regulations.
Okay, so there are other Canadian airlines, though. What are they saying?
Well, WestJet has flown the Dreamliner since February of this year without any incidents. It noted today it says it has full confidence in the safety of its Dreamliners, and WestJet also says it really can't speak to the FAA findings because it's not really privy to those reports.
Okay, Katie, thanks very much.